Hi, I'm Peter Elliott, one of the Principal Analysts in the Planning Division at DELP. In this video, I'll be talking about trying to visualise the amount of industrial land that is consumed each year, and it's not a small amount. First, we'll look at what consumption actually means. Here's a piece of vacant land in one of the state's significant industrial precincts. As you can see, there's no development on it. Here's the same piece of land a couple of years later. We can see there are now a number of buildings on it. We call this occupied, and we say that the land has been consumed or taken up. As time goes by, we build up a time series and we can start to measure how much land is actually consumed each year. Here is a graph about the long-term consumption of industrial land across metropolitan Melbourne. I break it up into three periods. The time prior to the global financial crisis, where consumption averaged a little over 300 hectares per year. The second period occurs immediately after the GFC, where industrial land consumption declined significantly, at one point to almost half the level it was prior to the GFC, but it's averaged around 225 hectares a year since the GFC. Recently, we have seen an increase in the consumption of industrial land, up to around 300 hectares per year. So how does Melbourne's consumption compare with other places in Australia? Even using the relatively conservative post-GFC consumption rate of around 225 hectares per year, Melbourne has the highest level of industrial land consumption across Australia. Sydney has consumed around 144 hectares over the same period, and in Adelaide, they estimate consumption at 100 to 110 hectares prior to the GFC. Now, I don't know about you, but I have trouble conceptualising large areas of land. To help me, I use this little thought exercise. Here's a typical city block in Melbourne: Collins Street in the north, Flinders Street in the south, Elizabeth Street to the east, and Queen Street to the west. The land area of this block, like all blocks in the Hoddle grid, is 4 hectares. And here's that block in the context of the CBD. We can use this to give us an idea of the scale of industrial land developed in Melbourne. We'll use the fairly conservative post-GFC consumption rate of 225 hectares per year, which is equivalent of around 56 city blocks. Here's the Hoddle grid. It's made up of 32 blocks, but that's not quite enough. So let's add another 24 blocks. This additional piece of land is about 3/4 the area of the Hoddle grid. So every year since the GFC, 1 3/4 Hoddle grids worth of industrial land has been consumed across metropolitan Melbourne. This makes industrial land development a major contributor to the built form of Melbourne. So where is it all happening? Most of it occurs in the western state significant industrial precinct, around Lebanon North, and the southern one, around Dandenong South. But that's for another video. For further information about the work of the Planning Group, please go to planning.vic.gov.au. Thanks for watching.